These cars, Volvo S60, V70, XC70, perhaps S80 also. Sometimes there is a problem with the climate control unit, CCM, it's called CCM. But this happens most of the times when you maybe you happen to have your battery completely drained, and you just jump start your car, or try to just replace the battery and reconnect the battery. Sometimes I know people say I oftentimes do it and never had a single problem. It's correct, but sometimes it happens because you just check forums online, you will see people saying I had that problem. What happens is that Volvo wants and suggests to put the key into ignition position 2. Why? Volvo wants to have the headlights on when you connect or disconnect or jump start the car battery. The reason for this is that with the key in position 2, you need to check the headlights. You need to have the headlights on. I think on cars without daylight running lights, you need to play a little bit with that switch there. So be sure to have the headlights on, and that will just drain the current when you connect the battery all of a sudden in such way that it will save a very tiny small part in the whole car. So there's just one tiny resistor actually that it's susceptible to be damaged when plugging the battery without having the headlights on, and that small part is located here. So this is the climate module right there, and we have this tiny part here. It's really the tip of the part you can see at that point. And what happens is that this part, the way it's designed, it's so sensible to a power surge that it just gets either damaged or simply doesn't work any longer. And the result, it's really strange, is that it affects the whole controls, the whole functioning of the CCM or climate module unit. It may just the vent stop working, the temperature stops working, the buttons, heater seats stop working, STC, whatever else, rear headrests won't work, AC won't work. Sometimes you get cold air on one side, hot air on the other side, so it's completely messed up just because of this tiny part. The fix is to get a new unit, used one perhaps, because Volvo one it's extremely expensive. Get a replacement unit and try to get the same year, same transmission, because you'll need to find one that has a compatible software. If it doesn't, you will have some function working, other function not working. It's still not the worst scenario. And just be sure one thing: when you disconnect and just when all the time is disconnected from the car, be sure to have the car battery disconnected, otherwise you will get an SRS light, airbag light. So don't forget that step. But like I said, when you place the new unit, used one, and it doesn't work properly, you have another option. You have just to get that used unit, flip it back, try to open it, the back of it, and try to get to the thermistor and swap the thermistor into your original unit. Hopefully that thermistor is in good condition. Perhaps I'll put a link. I'm not sure about the specification exactly. Just swap the thermistor into your old original unit CCM, place it back, and it should be good to go. Of course, it's not a job for everybody. You need to open, it's not exactly easy to open this unit from behind. You need to solder the new thermistor. You also risk to get a bad one from the start. If you don't feel like you are good at this, just try another used unit. Hopefully you'll get the right one with the correct software for your car. Most of the time they work, but it's better to match the years and stuff like this. But it's really this tiny part that goes bad, and it's happening only when battery goes flat. You need to jump start and so on. That scenario, replacing the battery. Really don't forget to put the key in the ignition. I myself also put the key in the ignition, make sure the headlights is on when I disconnect the battery the same way, because it's sometimes you don't remove that plug from the battery right away, it makes sparks, it makes a power surge. You really don't want to take a chance. Myself, I never had a problem with this, but like I said, it happens perhaps one time out of 100 times. So you don't want to be that person, that unlucky guy. Thanks for watching.